The catacombs in Rome are underground graves. So you start walking, same level street, and then there is this entrance. You walk one stair down, you walk another step down, another one, and then you feel the cold air on your legs already. And the more you walk, the darker it gets, and the more chilling it gets, and the more spooky it gets. And once you're in there, you're surrounded by empty grave caves, right, hewn into the rock of the side. There are these burial plots. And that's actually where the first Christians in Rome met for worship. Imagine going into the graveside, going into the cemetery, and right there in the moist, in the dark, in the chilly environment, they lit candles and gathered there for their Easter celebration. Right in there, locked in, a little bit scary, just like those first disciples we have heard about. And some of these first disciples, they were so scared that they would be the next ones to be crucified. They locked the doors, they locked themselves in, and they were locked in by their own fears, as we occasionally are. Aren't there our fears, our concerns, what you worry about, limiting ourselves, where we feel like we encapsulate ourselves, we cut ourselves off, we want to draw in and protect ourselves? I remember as a little, I just played and played, and we had these small little snails there, and they had their house, their shell on their back. And they crawled very slowly, so I took a blade of grass and I started tickling them on their tentacles and their eyes. And when they felt it, they kind of drew into the house. And when it was safe, they came out again. And when I tickled them again, they drew back in. It's a normal protective mechanism when something is irritating you, when someone is bugging you, when someone is poking you, when someone is ridiculing you. You just withdraw into a safe space. And in the fall, actually, these snails withdrew and were in the safety of their house, of their shell, and they closed it off with a calcified door. And there they stayed safe through the winter to again come out in the spring. Well, it's very normal for us to hide when it's not safe, to encapsulate, to withdraw, to be there. But then, just like for the disciples, just like in that cave, in the darkness, in the moist and the chilling environment, right there, Jesus appears among them, bringing light, bringing healing, bringing comfort, bringing hope in the midst of darkness, my friends. That is Easter message, isn't it? I wonder why were the women the first? I wonder. So was it because they knew it in their bones that love never gives up, that love goes even where destruction is, even where grief is, even where darkness and chilling environments are? Were they women because they trusted and they had faith that this huge rock that they no way could move, that this huge rock somehow God would make a way out of no way? Somehow they would be able to get to that body of Jesus in spite of all the hurdles, the cutoffs, this rock of not being able to penetrate that. Was it because they trusted and had faith that somehow in some way they could get there? Was it because the women knew that We believe in a God who is able, God who can make a way, pave a way where we are cut off, that God is able to provide, that God is able to make the impossible possible where it doesn't look like for us. Were these the women because they knew it takes a lot of patience in the process of transformation? Just like the butterflies, they start with this small little tiny egg that a butterfly lays. It hatches. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time. The chrysalis encapsulated. Looks like dead until slowly, the transformation happens inside and new life is being burst out, hatching, opening up, spreading the wings, and taking flight. Is that why the women were the first ones to witness the resurrection? In due time, God is able to do something that will surprise us, that will renew us, that will give us hope. And that is not the absence of pain and struggling and darkness and frustration. It's not the absence of that we believe in. But the risen one appears to his disciples with the wound marks. Don't we all have the wound marks in our bodies? The new life, my friends, the transformation doesn't negate, doesn't take away the pain, the suffering, the darkness, the tears, the heaviness, the brokenness. But it transforms it slowly by slowly. Newgrange. Newgrange is a Neolithic site in Ireland. It's this burial mound. It's like a mountain, my friends. And on one side, northeast, so about, if you think we are Newgrange, about that direction, there is an entrance right into the burial chamber. It's tiny, it's narrow, it's almost like these steps into the catacombs in Rome. And you snake yourself in, trying to watch your head so you don't hit it on the rocks above you. All the way 60 feet into that grave, into the mountain, there is a cave, and there is a place where the bones were lying. Those people who created this burial mound, they didn't write. We have no idea what they thought about it. But on the darkest day of the year, December 21st, when the sun rises, it penetrates and shines right onto those bones, right in the middle of the grave. When the darkness is the greatest, the sun shines right into it. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed.